Good day and welcome to another episode of the Couch Coach. In studio tonight we have a very long-standing rugby club with us. That's the Rangers Rugby Club, and I believe you guys are celebrating your 60th anniversary this year. So we welcome Ishmael, Noor and Faldi to the studio. Ishmael, if we can start with you and chuck you in on the deep end. Your role at the club and a little bit about Rangers Rugby.
Sure. So Rangers hails from, well, I think Faldi will talk to us where it originally comes from, but at the moment it's in Surrey Estate in Athlone. I think everyone that drives down Clipfontein will know about this field. I've been with the club for about almost 20 years. I've come through the juniors. I've played senior rugby with both of these two gentlemen. And then I've probably done the obvious thing, and that's moved into a management role. So my current role is the vice president of the club, and yeah, I'm serving my second term. We've got a nice young team, and we're trying to see how we can impart some of our skills to ensure that there's sustainability and longevity within the club.
Awesome. Noor?
Yeah, Noor, that's my name, and I'm the current president of the club. I've also been at the club for just over 20 years, but obviously I've played against Rangers many times before that, so Rangers is also on my doorstep. So when I got married then, in 19 something. I moved into the area.
Hopefully my wife isn't watching this one.
We can't say everything on TV. So I moved into the area, and my neighbours was all Rangers. They eventually got it right after 3 to 4 years, after throwing in a couple of windows and stuff, for me to come and play with them. And then yes, I joined the club. I think it was in the early 90s. I left Rangers to go retire at my older club. I came back and started playing again.
So it's in the blood now.
Yeah. So it's been a long journey with Rangers. I've once been selected as the treasurer of the club without even belonging to the club. And then afterwards I've always been just in a management position. Also played all these years. Forced to stop playing a couple of about 3-4 years ago, and I thought, no, I think I've had enough. But I do play some of these golden oldie games still.
Nice.
And when there's shortage of
Probably
players,
laughing you at that
yeah,
comment.
no, he's still the guy that plays. So well, on a regular basis though. But so when there's a shortage of players, especially on the on the away games, okay, then yeah, I just fall into position and then come home very sore, don't show it at home, and yeah, next time we just do it again.
Lekker. Aldi, I believe, is the club historian of sorts.
Not really the historian. Out of the three of us, I've got the longest service. I'm over 35 years with the club now.
Wow.
Officially on a senior level. Rangers stems from an old District 6 part of those years back, and the way I really got involved with the Rangers at that time, I was moving to the Malay choir.
Okay.
So the Malay choir stems from the rugby club as well. So with that being like that, we were involved. Then I started playing a little bit of juniors with the Rangers, and then Rangers moved out of the district when all this group areas act and things happened. They moved away over to Surrey Estate, and I took a bit of a, how can you say, a leave of absence.
Sabbatical
leave. And then I just rejoined Rangers about just over 35 years ago. It was in the early 80s where I rejoined the club again, where I stayed in Woodstock and the club is based in Surrey Estate, and I used to travel for all these years. I've been traveling like that there. And my role there, I'm a senior trustee. I also do one-on-one with the front row, bit of coaching with the youngsters and stuff like that. And like Mr. Peter said earlier, that when these guys short, sometimes there isn't guys short, but you just feel like, listen, I need to get onto the field and
let off some steam.
Yes, let off some steam, and that's basically what I do, and I enjoy doing it. And like Mr. Peter said, you can't come home you know, you just keep a stiff upper lip and just keep it strong from there. But other than that, yes, I've been involved as a player, management, coaching, bit of everything. We like to give back to the club what we got out of the
Sure.
club over the years.
Awesome, awesome. So, in terms of players at the club, across all levels now, but how many strong are you?
So our juniors, we start from under 7
Mhm.
up to under 19, and then your seniors you have to have four teams. So that's under 20 to your first team. That's 4 teams. So if you think about 20 on average per team, that's about 80 to 100 in your seniors,
Wow,
and there's probably about 200 in our juniors. So it's about 300.
wow,
300
that's
players.
really impressive. And focuses of the club, and I'm assuming it's purely rugby.
Yeah.
Is there any other community type projects that you guys are involved
So it's as we our objective is to focus on the rugby, because I think what we want to do is we want to do it well.
with?
So we want to specialize in what we do, and we want to provide a platform for players to move into better areas. For instance, move to Western Province, etc. So that's a platform for them, and we nurture them from juniors, and it's very important that an important aspect for us is the development of the individual, because I think we've seen it quite a few times. Especially if you're coming from a previously disadvantaged community, the social setting is very different to the social environment that you're going to have if you end up in a Western Province. And a lot of times you've seen that players have not done well there because it's not the rugby that's the problem, it's actually the social environment.
Yeah.
So for us to have developed players that are actually able to have skills to actually go outside into the world and actually be ambassadors of the club and ambassadors of rugby is important for us. So that's our core focus. Our focus is on development of youth, develop the skills, develop the personalities, etc. Provide them with leadership opportunities.
Awesome.
But we do have players that do other things in the community.
I'm sorry to cut you. We're going to have to go to a commercial break soon, and I'd like to pick this up again. But I'm loving the fact that it sounds like you have an holistic approach. It's not just about the rugby.
Absolutely.
But let's pick that up after the break. For now, we have some bills to play. Sorry, some bills to pay. We'll catch you after the break. Welcome back to the Couch Coach, and in studio we've got the gentleman from Rangers Rugby. And before the break, Ishmael, you were telling us about some of the community projects, and I believe that there's some feeding schemes involved.
Yeah. So as we said, an important objective for us is to develop a holistic individual, develop those leadership characteristics, and without the club really as an organization running extramural activities, we have of our players that actually go into the community. So for instance, in Ramadan they will go out and do feeding schemes in the poorer areas. Some of the senior guys will, for instance, take off their time, and Friday afternoons they'll come in and they'll try to support and assist the younger guys in terms of additional skills, etc., that's needed. So for us that is important, because the sustainability of community rugby lies in building individuals that's going to give back, because 90% of people that's part of Rangers don't get any remuneration. So it's important that we need to have that cycle.
That's awesome. Gentlemen, 60 years. There must have been some milestones along the way.
Absolutely. If you look at the club itself, the club has achieved many trophies, has won many leagues, and individual players during the era of apartheid, before the club actually went over to the unified Western Province. We had this coloured Western Province, and many Rangers players has made that team. Many players has made the old SARU, South African Rugby Union teams, which was the coloured Springboks. So we have a rich history of excellent, talented players. And if you look at the new era, there's some of us that's presented the Western Province diversity, which is equal to the Western Province C team. We have current players that has left Rangers, that is contracted to the Western Province Union, okay, and also some of them into the South African contracts. And then, yes, we have players like currently playing in Super League A, okay, that has left Rangers. And inshallah, they will come back to Rangers.
It seems like it's
No, they will come back. Where their home is, I can tell you, you will come back. I can tell you from my past, where I played for also a community team, I came to Rangers and I thought I would never get that atmosphere which I had there. And I'm still here. I'm still here after 20 odd years. I'm still here, and I'm probably going to be here for a long time, because I always get the flack at home where the wife would say that I don't have sons. Why do you still go to rugby? And unfortunately, this one thing women will never understand. Never ever. I can say
Careful
that.
now.
No. I can say that, and she knows what and I've said this. I said to her that you won't understand. Rugby is like a little magnet. You want to go back and back. You want to play and you want to play until you can't play no more. So, but after 60 years, Rangers is still standing. We're still a good team. We still have the numbers. Ishmael was saying about 300 members, current active members, yes. But if you look at the members that has not been around, you're looking probably at 400 or 500. You know what I'm saying? So, and then also your old boys Rangers still very much active in the club. They, for example, 3 weeks ago we had the annual Khatam, which is also in celebration of, this year was also in celebration of the 60th existence of Rangers. So, and there also you have an active, I have a old boys Rangers chat, WhatsApp chat, for example, and there is about 113 active members on there.
Wow.
You know, and they all contribute towards the Khatam al-Quran, and that's where they're active. And then also on derbies, between a Collegians and the Rangers, or a Primrose and the Rangers, or something like that.
Like
We invite them. Yes, we invite them. So then they come along. We give them some refreshments in the clubhouse at our home fields, and yeah, they enjoy them thoroughly for the afternoon.
Awesome. So, any big special party plans?
Yes, we have. We have some big celebration on the 9th of November, inshallah, where will have a black tie event. Okay, we're still working on the theme for the night though, but it will be black tie, that's for definite. We'll have it at the Darul Islam hall, the big hall, and we're catering for between 300 to 400 guests, inshallah. And then we will have our rich history on show that night. We're planning some small little things which you can buy as mementos, like we did on the 50th celebrations. A cup or a cap or a tie or a scarf or something like that, just to remind you of, and also perhaps a small little booklet, bringing all those memories into a few pages in the booklet.
Memories must be
Yeah, absolutely.
So, gentlemen, we're coming close to wrapping up. Any messages out there for aspiring rugby players? Before I have a little something I want to share with you.
I think Fowley can maybe.
Inspiring rugby players. Honestly, believing in yourself, believe what you do, and you do something with great respect to yourself and to your fellow people there. Always, respect is something that we earn. So even playing rugby, you got to earn your opponent's respect. And earning your opponent's respect, he will even respect you even more. Nowadays with the rugby, on the field, when we play, whatever happens on the field, when we come off there, we still the best of friends. We make the sport to create a friendship, to bond with other communities, other clubs. There's times where we travel out to hamlets, and after every game, the home team host us, you know, the visiting team, and it's nice to see you actually look forward, because there's some of the guys, like Noah said earlier, that played against us from previous years where we played Tigerberg or Western Province. You met them there. In our school days we used to play provincial rugby, school rugby together, and all of those things. So you meet up with them, and it's nice sitting there enjoying that. And for me, the message to the youngsters: respect your elders. You can learn from them, because for me as a youngster up till now, I think I'm one of the youngest guys with the old boys where I can relate to. I look forward to the Ghatam Quran. By the 50th, I look forward. I'm going to see this one there, I'm going to see that one there. I mean, there's, speak under correction, I think there's 1 or 2 members still left from the founder members of Rangers. If it's either 1 or 2, I'm not quite sure. I stand under correction. But those are the things I look forward when I go there. I go greet them. I feel so special when I'm around there. Like, they're going to share something with me that's so very special about the Rangers. And about the Rangers is we teach even our youngsters coming there, this is a family. So we get the parents dropping the children there and saying, listen, they need to go, fine, no problem. We look after them, family. So-called look after them, but we're a family. If anybody gets hurt on a senior team, junior level, there's a communication chat. Listen, how's that guy? Okay, we're going, that one is going. There's always communication where those things is concerned. And vice versa, like Ishmael said now, the extramural things that we do and the feeding schemes. The brother club of the rugby is the Malay Choir. We 50% of our membership is rehabilitated guys, where myself and another 1 or 2 guys is involved with the rehabilitation. So if we pick up even anything but the rugby and I see, I will speak to the gentleman and say, listen, somebody don't look well, we approach it in a dignified manner and we handle it, you know, to a good point. So we're always there for the kids. Some of them is not kids anymore, you know, and we're there for all of them. Whether it be financially, if we can't, we'll be there emotionally. We're always there. Everything we do as a family, and that is why our motto is one team, one spirit. It's just basically what you feel, I feel. Awesome. If you hurt, I hurt.
Awesome. Noor, any messages out there?
Yeah, look, if nowadays, and like Faldi said, obviously, in the older days, Faisal, that we had loyalty, okay, loyalty towards your club because of your parents that played for the club, and nowadays you got to look after your players, you got to make them happy, for them to stay at your club. We're still a community club. We do not play get paid players, okay, so and we're trying to keep it that way, and keeping it that way and also going to a professional era, it's a difficult match, difficult to gel the two. So you know, you need to put incentives out there instead of getting or having the player being played, because the loyalty is not there anymore, unfortunately not. And they see a talented player, some other place will pinch them, they will go there. That's why we have some players playing in Super League A, for example. You know, simple.
It's about giving them a stepping stone.
But yes, I am sure and I'm positive that the Rangers will last probably another 60 years, inshallah. Don't think I will last another 60 years, but the Rangers will still be there.
Ishmael?
I think it's important that our community support community sports, whichever it is, and in this instance it's a rugby. It's critical for us to provide that platform for youth to find an alternative to the social ills. So there has been perhaps a decline in support over the last 10 years with community sports, not only Rangers but in general. So my appeal is really, I think, you know, we need to invest into our sports, especially our communities. And then yes, I think one way how you can support us is attending the 60th anniversary. See what the Rangers is about. The tickets are going at a meager 250 rand, and our details will be available for us to be contacted, and for us to survive another.
You guys on social media?
Yes, we've got a Facebook page, a Rangers Facebook page. I think Rangers RFC. I think we'll make it available afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, as well as Instagram.
Jam to put it up on the screen.
Instagram as well, right?
So guys, in parting, we got to wrap this up. I was cleaning house the other day and came across this, and I'd like to share it with you.
Right.
It's my late father's blazer from the 70s. And a little memento for you guys.
Shukran,
and all the best for the next 60
Shukran,
years,
sir.
inshallah.
Shukran.
Thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen.
Faisal, thank you so much.
Not a problem. And you don't go yet. We're having a break so that the bald-headed ref can show in for his segment, Don't Scull the Ref. We'll be with you shortly. Welcome back to the Couch Coach. So after spilling some coffee on me, thanks Mr. Ref, I had to change my shirt. Welcome back, Zaahid Appolis.
Thank you, Coach.
So today we're going to be chatting about new laws here. And I
Well,
believe
it's
you've
not
got a
new
goodie for
laws.
us.
It's
Well,
always been
new in
there.
the school.
Yes, yes. Okay. Today we're going on a very sensitive topic, which is foul play. Yeah,
There's
you know,
no
it happens
such
all the
thing.
time.
There's
and
no such thing.
exactly, yeah. Normally the offender is like, I did nothing, Mr. Ref, and that's the norm. But anyway, yeah, major aspect, and obviously it's a big taboo, and something that World Rugby wants to get rid of and kick out of the sport, which is foul play, like any other sport. So, yeah, there's various forms, from obstruction to unfair play, unsportsmanlike behavior. But yeah, we'll go through it, and then, yeah, we'll take it from there.
Let's go.
Okay, so just basically the principle of foul play, it's a player who commits any foul play must either be cautioned or temporarily suspended, you know, like a yellow card, or sent off for the rest of the game. The red card, the big one, yeah. So just going, as we mentioned earlier on, some of the facets. So the first form of foul play, which would be obstruction. Okay, so when a player and an opponent is running for the ball, neither player can charge or push another player. So basically, you are allowed to run shoulder to shoulder, you know, basically competing to get to the ball soonest, but you can't push the person or charge the player, you know, out of the way. And then an offside player must not intentionally obstruct an opponent or interfere with play. So if the ball is there, the ruck is there, I'm standing on this side. They often call it, you know, lazy running. Normally it's your bigger boys, the props and but yeah, that's a sensitive topic on its own. You know, because they can't get to the onside side of the line, they would just interfere, and you know, that is obviously a no-no. A player must not intentionally prevent an opponent from tackling or attempting to tackle the ball carrier. So you carrying the ball, I can't prevent another player from tackling him. Simple.
It's not gridiron.
Yeah, that's not sport.
It's another topic.
Yeah, and then a player must not intentionally prevent an opponent from having the opportunity to play the ball. So maybe, except for when they're competing for possession, like at a ruck or whatever. So you can't prevent him from playing with the ball. And then you mustn't obstruct the player or in any way interfere with the player, even when the ball is dead. Because the ball goes out, you mustn't impede in him or anything to that effect. Okay, and then we come to the next form, which is unfair play. Unfair play is basically what a player must not do. Yeah, but you know, everyone has their own interpretation of what is fair and unfair, you know, their form of mindset. So, in a nutshell, you mustn't infringe on any law of the game. So the laws are set out by World Rugby. You mustn't infringe on any of that. And a player mustn't intentionally knock the ball, you know, out, place or throw the ball, you know, out of play, out of the playing area. So you can't intentionally, if I'm running with the ball and hypothetically time is up, I can't throw the ball out by the line just to get the game to. Okay, that is unfair. Okay, and obviously it's penalizable offence. You mustn't do anything that would make a official, a referee, or a assistant referee, or you know, all the terms call it a linesman, consider that the opposition or opponent has committed an infringement. And then also the last one, which often happens, normally when the guys get tired or they want to buy some time, is they waste time.
Ah,
You mustn't waste time, so you must allow the player to play as soon as possible.
that long walk to the line-out.
Yeah, you know, you walk past the ball, or you hypothetically just go down because you fake an injury or whatever. You know the norm. Once mensa.
Usually the forwards.
No, I didn't say that. You said that, coach, not me. I would never say
Sorry,
that.
forwards.
Yeah, and then we go on to the next aspect, which would be repeated infringements. So a team must not repeatedly commit the same offence. So you'll see something happen. A referee blows up the player for, let's say, for example, offside. And next play, again offside, or later on again offside. It's a repeated infringement. So you mustn't do that. If they repeatedly infringe the law, okay, it's penalizable, and normally the sanction there would be a penalty against the team. When different players within the same team commit the same offence, repeat offence, a referee normally issues a general warning to the team, and if it happens again, the referee temporarily suspends a yellow card to the next offending player. Doesn't matter if he didn't commit
previously, but
there was a general team
the warning got
okay.
given to the team.
Yeah, and then we come to the not so nice part, which is the dangerous play. Yeah, and this often, I think we touched on that previously with the tackling and those type of things. So anything that's could threaten the safety of the player.
With the studs in the back and
yeah, there's various, but anyway. So players mustn't do anything that is dangerous or reckless to the opposition or others, okay, for that matter. A player must not physically or verbally, or did I say mentally? Physically or verbally, physically or verbally abuse an opponent or anyone for that matter. You can't do that to the referee even, so don't scold the referee.
hashtag.
Yeah, physical abuse, that normally it can include just some examples: biting, punching, contact
What
with
was
the
it?
eye.
Was it the bullet biter? Who put Fitzpatrick's here?
Just I can't remember. Is that's before? No, it's not before my time. I can't recall, but hey, I remember it. And then you have the eye gouging, which can be catastrophic, in terms of the consequences. A tackle, a high tackle, a shoulder charge, anything to that effect. Okay. Next one is a player cannot tackle the opponent early or late or dangerously. Okay, we've touched on the tackles in our previous. So anything before the player receives the ball, so that would be early. After he's passed the ball, late or dangerously, high tackle or
tackling in
the
the
head.
air.
Well, yeah. And then a player must not tackle another opponent who's not in possession of the ball. So I can't just, because the ball is coming your way, I tackle you just to get
It's not
rid
gridiron.
Again, yeah. As you mentioned, you can't tackle a player when he's in the air. So, or feet is off the ground in the air. So one and the same thing. And then a player must not lift an opponent off from the ball and then drive him head first or upper body, shoulder, that area, into the ground, making contact with the ground. That's, especially that, player safety again is paramount.
No, that's dangerous.
So that is frowned upon heavily by officials and also by, it depends. So similar to our high tackles or whatever, there's again the different forms: red card, yellow card, penalty only. So it depends on the circumstances at the time. Dangerous play, even in a scrum, where our big boys are, the props and the front rankers and the locks. Okay, a front row player of a scrum must not form at a distance that its opponents will rush on them. So there's a certain, normally we call it ear to ear. So the opposing players must be, their ears basically touching there. So that's just a clear bind. Okay. A front row player must not pull opponent. So if he goes in there, you can't pull him there. And then also lastly, you mustn't intentionally lift him off his feet. So driving him upwards in an upwards direction. So that. And then we did it last week and the week before in a ruck or mall. So you get foul play in the ruck of the maul or so. So a player mustn't charge into a ruck or maul. We won't go and talk about Scott Barrett that just did that this week. Yeah, so he can't charge. I think Pakis Boot, there was one example against the British Lions a few years ago where he charged in there. Well, he got away with it at the time, but hey, it could be dangerous. It could have another effect.
So we've got less than a minute. We need to wrap this
Yeah,
up.
yeah. So just a few more. You mustn't intentionally charge or obstruct a player who's just kicked the ball, you know, late, or obstruct him. And then where the penalty takes place, because it's penalizable, it is where the infringement takes place, where the ball lands or is next played, but not nearer than 15 meters to the touchline. Okay, and then very lastly, yellow and red cards. That's always a touchy subject. Okay, but then when a player is cautioned, he's suspended for 10 minutes. That's the yellow card. If the same player comes back on and he gets another yellow cardable offence, he's sent off you know, for the rest of the game. And then the red card, when it is a red card offence, he gets sent off he won't take further part for the duration of the game. And that's it. There's much more we can say, but yeah, that will leave for another day.
School's out.
Yeah.
Shukran again so much, Mr. Ref.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. And remember, if you have a question for the coach, email us at couchcoachcpt@gmail.com. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next week.